Here we go again. I'll share my welcome everyone to our webinar that speaks about the topic of empowering knowledge managers with GenAI. Let's enable you all to see the screen. Here we go. We all no, that's not what I meant. Yes, it is what I meant. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. Today we have a very exciting webinar on knowledge management and GenAI. I know that we heard it so many times the past 2 years, and yet I promise that we will be speaking today about new topics that maybe were mentioned slightly, but today we can deepen into them and understand them better. So we took the time, and today with me, I have May Rubenstein, who will be facilitating the meeting, who will be facilitating the interview, and it will be us discussing, but not only us, it will be our discussion, but with you as well. So when you want to comment, when you want to add, please let you just write in the chat or find another way to tell us that you are here with us, and we will be very glad to join you in. Maytal is not only a colleague. Maytal serves as the knowledge management and learning lead for Siemens Digital Manufacturing. Please notice both knowledge management and learning. She drives the strategic initiatives to foster organizational learning and knowledge sharing across global teams, with a strong belief that collaboration and innovation and knowledge sharing are essentials to foster the innovation and the operation excellence. Maytal champions environments and events where information flows freely and learning is continuous. Her work focuses on building scalable, value user-focused platforms and tools that empower employees and enhance operational excellence. But the most important thing I want to say about Maytal, that she's passionate about connecting with people, about connecting other people, and she always seeks for new opportunities to learn and to share and to be part of a community. So thank you, Maytal, and the floor is yours, and you will be facilitating this meeting today. Please, you may start.
Thank you, Moria, and thank you everybody for joining us today. If you have not joined, it's your miss, but we are here and going to have a really interesting an hour and a half ahead of us. Before we dive into the world of GenAI and knowledge management, first I want to say thank you, Moria, for inviting me to facilitate. And I want to introduce Moria for those of you who are less familiar with her and have not had the chance yet to meet her. So, Dr. Moria Levy is a strategic thought leader in knowledge management and the CEO of ROM Global, a leading knowledge management consultancy operating for over 25 years. She advises global organizations on designing and implementing knowledge management strategies to drive business value, innovation, and sustainable learning cultures. She also leads the international project for ISO 30401, the Knowledge Management System Standard, and the KMGN flagship activities, be it the international KM courses, the global KM week, roundtables, shared network, KM trend projects, connecting practitioners, researchers, and executives across continents. And in a personal note, I've seen Moria charging the world of GenAI and knowledge management for the past year and a half, and it has been a very interesting journey. So I'm happy for the opportunity to have this discussion and hear from her more, and also from you. Just drop your questions in the chat and I will try to get to you. If not, raise your hand. So I want it to be, it is an interview, but we also want to hear from you and get a glimpse of what GenAI has contribute to your knowledge management processes. And with this, you said it at the beginning, Moria, and I will come back to it. We all heard about GenAI many times in the past 2 years, okay? But I want to ask you, what has changed? What has changed with the appearance of GenAI in our world? Why it is so unique event? It is different from other changes that have gone through the years on this practice.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And again, thank you everyone for joining. Now, I know that in the beginning we will have some theory, but please be patient, because we'll get to the stuff, we'll get to the business actions. So be patient, because it's important, this opening, in order to understand why it's so pivotal, the Gen AI to knowledge management. It's not only another trend, it's something special. And in order to understand it, that's why we have to explain the change. So first of all, I want to explain the idea, the trend, the moving, the upgrade from machine learning AI to Gen AI. So artificial intelligence has been evolving from decades. From 1956, it started, the term was coined. The idea was there even centuries before. It started with designed systems that tried to mimic human understanding or human thinking through rigid rule-based logic. Remember it, our cognition, rule-based, of course. It was a wonderful idea, but it didn't really get somewhere that is beneficial, that is business profit, that made a difference. And over time, there were different approaches until we heard about machine learning, and that was really a great revolution. Some other day, we will maybe speak about the history of AI, but not today. The significant change of machine learning, the shift came because AI started relying not on rule-based logic, but learning from examples, learning from the field. When I say examples, I mean many, many numbers, sensors, signals, voice, recordings, images, and text. Millions of examples, and then you can learn. We had a role there. Yes, they spoke also about text, not too much, but we had a role there because everything had to be structured or labeled, or they were looking for labels and patterns, but it was very difficult, was very expensive, and it really couldn't make a change. And for us as KMers, we had a small role in this story. However, when we came to Gen AI, we started to speak about something different. We started to speak about not only classification and prediction, we started to speak about creating new content based on what we see, based on the content that already exists. Now, some people will say that's not creation. Creation is from zero, but that's not really the truth. If you take an infant or someone who has nothing to do with a subject matter, he won't be able to create new knowledge, to create new content. Gen AI mimics our way of thinking, our way of creating content. And because it creates content, it's relevant. And most of the content it creates is also, I may say, text. Text gets the main portion. It comes to the front stage. And creating the text, and not only creating, we will be speaking about additional possibilities, makes it our job, our role. We are all of a sudden in the middle of the stage. So it's not only our stage, but it's a stage that can disrupt the knowledge work. It's more than a technical advancement for us. It represents the transition from automation to intelligent augmentation. It provides powerful partnering in the way we curate knowledge, we interpret it, and even how we co-created human and machine. So therefore, I want to say it has the potential to transform the way knowledge works in life, in organizations, and of course, how knowledge workers work. So I want to continue and explain that knowledge workers, as defined by Peter Drucker as people whose work, whose knowledge is significant to their success in work, their job is going to change because it can disrupt the way they create, they consume, they can use knowledge. And I'll speak about several ways of doing it. But before we do it, I don't know, Meital, I think that when we spoke together towards this meeting, we both had the same idea. So I'll let you say this important statement. Please go ahead.
Even when I facilitate, I'm on mute. But Moria knows me. For me, I see the GenAI revolution as a revolution too. This is the revolution the knowledge management world has been waiting for, from my perspective. Because some of the things that you've already mentioned, the ability to create knowledge, and I like that you also address the co-creation between us and technology of new knowledge and new tools and new platforms. I think it gives us a huge advantage. It gives us the ability to move forward our organization and be part of the success of our organizations without dealing with the day-to-day tasks of knowledge management. Okay, it clears us to focus our efforts on what is important in knowledge management, how to drive the processes, and it allows the end users accessibility and ability to compile and understand knowledge in a way that without these tools, we wouldn't be here. And talking about this, let's say that I'm an organization. I think that most of the organizations today are dealing with the primary question on how to prepare to this GenAI world. I don't think that most of the places are already implementing and are utilizing this to the best of the advantages. I think that a lot of the organization stands today in a preparation. And I'm bringing back the question to you, how organization can and should prepare for the GenAI world today?
Wonderful question, but before I answer, two things I forgot. One thing is there are so many risks in this new discipline, and there's so much to speak about, but today we won't speak about it. We'll discuss opportunities. And one more thing that I just skipped by mistake, KMs hold a double role here because we consume the AI like other disciplines do, like marketing does, like medical doctors do, like any other discipline, we consume AI. However, because it all has to do with how to create new content, new knowledge, new information, new data, we have a pivoting role in changing how all knowledge workers in organization can and should work. So we have to look at it twice for ourselves as knowledge managers, how we do our job better, or and B, how we serve an organization in a new, better way. So how do we really do it? Or in order to explain it, we're yet in the introduction, but now we'll go down deeper. And I promised we will see examples and we will be very practical. So if we want to understand why it's our celebration, why it's our revolution, not like everyone else, but much more, we have to understand that first of all, we are all the time speaking about we need documented information and knowledge. We need it to be documented so it can be easier shared. Of course, we connect between people, but that's not good enough in order to turn it to be a knowledge asset. So AI, first of all, helps us documenting. It helps us recording meetings that we had before. It helps us transcribing meetings. So we have a new level of documentation that we never had before. Let's continue. It helps us find information and knowledge in ways that we couldn't even dream of. And I'll say, the day I saw how Gen AI is starting to work, my eyes shined because I said that was our dream.
Exactly.
We all the time spoke about enabling people don't only new use, reuse. And we said we have to reuse information and knowledge that's already in the organization. And we have to reuse information and knowledge that's out there in the world in other organizations. Now think about it, that tomorrow our decision support systems would have a big prompt window where I ask a question saying, okay, I'm dealing with A and B, and on the left hand of the screen, I get the answer using a general Gen AI conversational tool, sharing with me all the information that the world knows as to that topic. At the same time, on the right hand of the screen, I'll see what my organization knows about it. And I don't want to mix them. I want us, the knowledge workers, to decide how they integrate them together, because the organization has less experience maybe, but it embeds our understanding, our context, our history, our culture, our expertise. But the world has wider and maybe less deeper or less context-based information and knowledge. Having these two together enables us to find information and knowledge much better. It's not only that, because when I continue, you know what? We can speak about it here. It's not only finding, because when I say find the information and knowledge, I want to speak about all kinds of types of functions that it helps me, because it starts with helping me to translate content that I couldn't understand, that maybe was prepared in another country. Today, I had a conversation this morning with Anahit from Central Bank of Armenia. So tomorrow, if she's looking for information and knowledge that's documented in the world, she could find from the Central Bank of France, written in French, and from Israel, written in Hebrew, and from UK, and from everywhere else. So when I'm saying finding information, it helps me find it not only fast Google, it helps me translate, listen to these functions, A, translate, B, wisely integrate, putting them together, breaking back the pieces in each document and connecting them together to pieces that are integrated one with another. C, it helps me synthesize them into new ideas. D, it helps me summarize it because I can't consume so much information. And they continue on and on, but these four functions, read my lips, translating, integrating, synthesizing, and then condensing it by summarizing it, enables me to find in a level that I couldn't believe before.
And I think more
Wow.
than that, Moria,
Yes, please.
I think that maybe you were not able to think about it. I think our end users did not think that they will have this accessibility and easy use of information. I don't need to tell you, you are all knowledge managers. One of the biggest, let's say, pains that people are dealing with is finding the relevant information in a relevant time in a consumable way. So already we solved one of the world's biggest problems. Let's move forward.
Yes, but it's more than one, because we skip the documenting because it sounds so easy. Now everything's transcribed. That's one big problem that we said there's so much information that we speak within meetings or between me and you. Everything now can be recorded, transcribed, and summarized. Everything now can be found. Everything now can be understood because of all the functions I spoke about. And yes, we have also the ability with Gen AI, and I think that now, if someone doesn't think that it's a potential for a revolution in what KM is, that we failed here. Here, I think that when we add the last component, the creation, and that's only the last of the four, we have all four foundations that enable knowledge management to be something new. New KM is born. Back to you.
Thank you. We do have a question already in the chat about application for capturing employees' best practices during their work using GenAI, not specifically relating to meeting recordings or document processing, but something more active engagement during their actual tasks. But I think, okay, it relates to what we wanted to bring to the table, and we can answer this now, or we can answer it a little bit better later, because I think we talked a lot, but let's dive into some examples. I want to share with our audience some examples of how you've been able to utilize the GenAI capabilities to take knowledge management to the next level, to make it more accessible, more useful for you and for other organizations that you are working with.
I think that maybe it's better if we start speaking theory and start talking business. What
exactly. Let's do it.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'll start here. The first thing is we have to make a choice. Where are we focusing? Because when we speak about AI-based advancements, we can be directed inward or outward. When I'm speaking about outward, I mean in developing new products and services. That may be led often by innovation, R&D, digital transformation teams, and sometimes by KM teams. It can be inward toward enhancing the productivity, the operational excellence of an organization, reduction risks, improving business performance, and even leveraging the growth through better working within the organization or with our customers, with our suppliers, and with other stakeholders. And I think that KM is relevant to both paths.
I agree.
It can fuel innovation. It can fuel productivity. But we, as knowledge managers, the first thing that we should do is to make the choice. And it's not always our choice because it's many times dependent on the context of the organization. What's our mandate? Are there other people that are doing other parts of this equation? Are they in charge of? Maybe everything is open and everything is immature, but there are bigger risks in some places. So we can't do it all. We have to choose based on what we are led to do and what's more important to do now, where we are putting our efforts, our time, our money. Yes, please, Maytal. Do you want to add?
You know me, I do it all. No, but I think that you are hitting a good point. Okay, I think one of the advantages of GenAI is the ability to drive innovation forward. And one of the advantages from an organization point of view is the productivity enhancement for our day-to-day tasks. I don't necessarily agree that as knowledge managers, we have to choose a way. We will have to invest here and there, and it will come one on top of the other. So we cannot do all in 100% all the time. But I would say one of the ways to do it is to collaborate with other people within the organization. So to help them drive innovation, to help them drive productivity, using GenAI tools and connect the dots for them. But more than
Thank you.
everything, I want to see an example. Show me your examples.
So I just want to say thank you for rephrasing, because sometimes we have to make a choice. Sometimes we can do them both, but not starting at the same time. And sometimes, as you suggested, we help others and let them lead some of these paths as you do innovation in your organization. So I think that today we will speak more about productivity and show more examples in this area, as this is more relevant to our customers, to our listeners.
I'm with you.
Okay, so what does it take to successfully do it? Wonderful ideas. What do we have to do? So first of all, and this is a bit tricky, because I heard so many organizations, so many KMers saying, yes, we have AI, we have a KM system, and they are now upgrading it, and we will pay more money in order to include a chatbot, a cognitive search, a better tool for that, a better co-pilot will help us. Wonderful. That's wonderful that the organization knows how to write checks, and that you are pushing your suppliers, or they are pushing you to buy new tools or to enhance the software packages that you already have. And yes, sometimes we also add tools, not only upgrade what we have with Gamma or Midjourney or any other tool that we believe that can be helpful for our AI journey that we didn't have up to now. But, dear people, that is not acting. That is stage 0. That is far from enough. We are not doing our job as KMers by telling the suppliers, bring new versions. That's fine, that's required, but that is before we even start really speaking. So what can we do and what should we do? Remember, 2 roles: for ourselves as consumers and for the organization. The next step is also not too complicated. We're going, stage by stage. Later on, it will be all together. We want to help the organization build its organizational AI literacy. We want them to use AI, not only I come to someone who says, yes, last week I was planning a vacation and I opened my iPhone and I chatted with ChatGPT and it helped me to plan my vacation. Wonderful. That does not yet mean that they have AI literacy. AI literacy goes deeper. It means that we know to help managers and teams understand how to use it in business context. Not to play with it and whatever you get is a bonus, but how to better perform your job. I I didn't plan it, but let's go and see an example. In order to do that, I'll stop this for a minute, and I'll share with you. Here we go. Let's go to here. We have here in our, I'll take my glasses. We have here a generative AI prompt bank. And when I'm speaking about literacy, I'm speaking about teaching people to write better prompts. And we have here open for the public. You can write, I'll copy it to our Teams chat. Just a minute. Chat. Let's copy it in here. Okay. This is free of charge to whoever wants to use it. Now, what do we have here? We have here something like 70 typical knowledge work assignments. Let's say decision making, no, or let's take communication. Under communication, we have here several options. Oh, and I see that we have only now one, but under others we have maybe more than one. So for each one, we have the task, what can be a good prompt for the opening of it. And this is, of course, what's the mission, what's the goal, who's the audience, what's the tone. And then there are ways to refine it to in specific directions, making it even deeper. Ways to converge the discussion, to diverge the request. If this was converge, this is diverge. Ways to critical think after I finished looking at, and how to augment it as a human overlooking it and finding a different way to look. You can find here, as I said, nearly 70, okay, I don't know, I have to refresh it. There are nearly 70 different workflows here, different prompts that can be helpful. So that is part of the literacy, knowing to write with context, with goal, with divergence, with convergence, with critical thinking, and with human-machine augmentation. So here you have some aids, but the idea is to teach the organization how to do it themselves in order to do it in their context. So let's go back. You asked for examples. Let's go back just a minute. We spoke about adopting the tools. Oh, sorry, that's not from here. Minimize. We'll move it to the other screen so it won't. We spoke about building literacy. And it's, of course, it can be one-on-one, it can be in teams. Now, if you have other people that do it, that's fine. But beware. Many times other people say they do it, but they do something that's very shallow, very shiny, but very shallow. We as KMers can come second stage and start doing it in the deep way, connecting, giving the people the right aids and the right understandings how to go on. Let's go on to the next level. Let's help our organization tailor the way they apply AI by department and role. And here I want to connect to the great Daniel Susskind. Susskind, already something like 15 or 20 years ago, came with the idea that as technology flourishes, as technology develops, we have to again and again re-engineer our jobs and roles. Now look at yourself, dear KMers, as business analysts. We are business knowledge analysts. We know to look at a profession, to look at a role, to analyze it to the tasks that define it, to analyze each task and understand, based on, of course, not a methodology, where AI excels, where human excels, where should I use AI, how can I have some synergy and make it better, augmenting AI and KM, and where should I leave it for the human only? So tailoring the way the organization not only knows to prompt here and there, but knows in what task it would be beneficial to use AI and what to do in addition, and how to critical look at it later on. That's another level that's already role and task sensible. And at the end of the day, if we work with a department, the easiest thing to think about would be marketing, but it could be bankers, and it can be people that work in insurance behind the scenes, and any profession and role you think about in your organization.
Okay, so far, I will just say that I learned that I have to learn a new language, okay? And I have to be an analyst. I'm waiting for the next.
Meital, thank you for highlighting it, but you are already a business analyst from the day you started being a KMer. And
I accept.
I say that there are also business analysts in the IT, in the IT departments. However, they are more technology oriented and we are more human and knowledge oriented. I won't say that one is more important than the other, but here, when we speak AI, technology is the king. When we speak Gen AI, knowledge and human are the queen, the mother queen, who rules the whole kingdom, because the technology is so easy to use that we can say thank you and we can lead this change. Now, as you said, let's go to the next ones. We have here a series of what we call agent AIs. AI agents, I'm sorry. I'm not speaking about agentical AI. Agentical AI is a very specific term saying, okay, take some AI agents and instead of using this here and this there and this there, let them speak with one another. That's fine. I'm a bit cautious about it because we want the human intervention. I don't want them only to speak one with another. Of course, there are many contexts where it can make sense, but yet I love the building blocks, the building stones of the agents themselves, that we can use them having the human intervention. So we have here 3 different types of AI agents. Now, I want to go a step back. Not everyone here knows how to write or rule AI agents. Forget this fantastic high-level language term. Think about it as a set of prompts. Every time anyone says AI agents, say, oh, I know what it is. I'm preparing a series of 3 prompts, 5 prompts, instructions how to work, instructions to the conversational generative AI or to the AI. Now we have here 3 of these. Some have more technical parts, some have less. When we speak about RAGs, I spoke a few weeks ago with a team and there were some leading KM from France. And he said, for us, RAGs is the new KM and that's our new role. And what we should do is see that the data is cleansed and that the data is categorized and that everything is okay, because garbage in, garbage out. And I said, I think differently. The machine is intelligent. The machine is intelligent enough to choose the good information from the bad if there's enough information, and if the good is really 70, 80%, not if it's only garbage. So they don't really need us there. The machine is good enough to categorize if we have enough information, and we see that in most cases we have. So they don't need us there. And the IT are smart enough, and they are those who set up the RAGs. They set up the environments. So even though...
Where do they need us, Moria?
Oh, that's what I'm trying to say. That in some cases, they need us only to say, we need a RAG. If our audience, if our target users in the organization don't think about it alone. But we have today, in many departments, in many organizations, we have intelligent users, and they can go to the IT and say, we need a RAG. And if as I said, 80% is cleansed or 70% is cleansed, and it's a specific topic, they don't really need us. So even though we are very happy with this, that is not the new KM. That may be the new knowledge management, but without KMers. They don't really need us in too many cases here.
What about evaluation?
There are cases where you need to evaluate it. However, many times the subject matter experts or the users themselves are better evaluators than we are. And B, there are many cases where you don't need it. So don't say that they never need us. But evaluation is a role of the people who understand in the content. We are methodology.
But it's kind of a research planning evaluation in terms of agents. It's not like a small specific
Okay.
evaluation. It's a framework.
Okay, so I will, you have here a point, but I'll say that it's sometimes us and sometimes it's users or people that, again, I'll explain to those who are not familiar with it. We have two modes. We have a mode that ad hoc, we ask a question with a series of prompts, and there the person who is asking can be the evaluator. However, before we let them speak, we want to, when we build the RAG, we want to test it to see it's okay. That's what we call the training part of the cycle. So this training of the model, which is actually refining the model, refining the instructions, refining the content inside, it's not really refining the algorithms like we would see in AI machines, in machine learning, but it's more refining the instructions and refining the data. This I see in many cases can be done without us in the middle. They don't need a third person in the middle. An AI and a user are required. We in the middle in rare cases.
Are you
But
referring to rugs that are bought as like external products,
No,
or
I'm speaking about building
tools
racks in organizations also.
tools that are built like within the organization? There are KM
Yes.
tools, and you're saying that it can be evaluated and managed only by subject matter experts
And
but
IT.
I
Yes.
completely
and
agree with
IT.
Moria because there is a limit to the deep knowledge that you can have on each topic. As a cameras, it doesn't mean that you know everything, right? You
It's a
should be
methodology.
able to find the information, to evaluate the information, to use the information, but you cannot be a subject matter expert on everything.
I'm not
So
referring to subject matter expertise at all. I'm
but you
referring
need it.
to an evaluation expertise of LLMs and agents. So once you understand the framework, the limitations, how it works, maybe it's a kind of a new skills that we need to adopt, because there are all kinds of ways to evaluate. There are qualitative ways. You have to understand it a little bit in order to, evaluate it effectively. Uh, I'm not sure subject matter experts understand this framework like that much, so they will know exactly how to evaluate it. Um, Maybe it's
Yes, you are.
something that from my experience, okay, I'm just sharing my
Of
understanding
course.
of this area, looking at my team, how they work, how they build agents, how they try and implement it. I don't think they understand the whole like picture in terms of evaluation, and I feel that this is something that I bring to the table more than
Okay.
they are. It's like being more methodological and uh, method, understanding method. Sorry.
I'll just say one sentence. We have another question. There are cases where you can do the job. We find in many cases that those who were already experts in evaluation of machine learning and they come from the IT area do it as good as we do, and we don't bring in the KM methodologies to do it. So we can learn it. We can join the IT here. It's not too techy, so it can be done. I have an employee that's doing it in a very big company. So we can do it, but it's not our shiny day because it's not, oh, where were the KMs? Now we can use them. This is the knowledge management methodologies or the essence of the knowledge methodologies, the essence of the knowledge management concepts and ways of thinking that can be helpful here, even if it's a new methodology, because we are going to speak about new methodologies in something like 10-15 minutes. But there's another question.
Yes, Magdalena?
Thank you so much. My question would be, would the point number 2, so building organizational AI literacy, do you think this is actually within the tasks of the knowledge manager, because from my perspective and from my experience in my organization, we are having a AI. We are allowed to use it. We have some trainings, but those trainings, they are optional. It's not that you as the employee, you are only allowed to do that. That's not your obligation to actually become an expert in AI or learn how to prompt correctly and so on, so on. So this is up to people if they really want to learn that or not. And from my perspective is that I personally see my role as a knowledge manager in the way that I wouldn't necessarily build AI literacy in the employees, in my colleagues. It's rather that enabling them the information and the knowledge itself through the knowledge base, which operates because of the usage or enhancement of AI, and this is on my side rather. And how the people, how the organization, how the employees, how they are using AI on their job, that's rather on their side, not on my plate.
Thank you for the question. We'll do it quick. Yes, there are many ways to build the literacy. There is to give them only the foundations. It is to feed them with a spoon, and there are many degrees in between. Now, you have to fit to your organization, but IT only come with the infrastructure and with some shallow, too many times with shallow training and say, okay, use. Now, we are interested. We have an agenda that people use knowledge, that people create knowledge, and that they reuse knowledge. Therefore, it is our wish that they do it. So we push more. How do you push? How far do you push? How much you have to feed them and how much they know to use alone? You decide. I want to run on because I want to get to the big stories. We have 2 big stories today.
There are big stories, people. I'm telling you, stay tuned.
Okay, so I want to go to, so we spoke about one type of typical AI agents, but what we wanted to say here, it's not the only type. It's not the only type. Let's take a database. Let's take a drive with a folder with 7,000 SOPs and put them and say, okay, now you understand. We can do it. It's important, but KMOs in most cases won't have here an advantage as KMOs. The second type, where we have no advantage at all, and we're not even interested in it too much, in most cases again, is task automation. It's something that's instead of the RPAs that we got used to in the previous 5 years, and we are speaking about RPAs that if it's easy to explain what they do, to capture the business rules, structure them and document them, we don't have to help. If it's not easy, we can help there. But why are we speaking about it if it's not really our job? Because if we speak about the discipline of AI agents, as I said, series of prompts, we have to understand that there are several types. Some we have more advantage, some we have less, some we don't even interfere. So RAGs, we are very interested in, and if the organization doesn't know to do it without us, or if they need us for evaluation, come on and do it. If they need it only for driving them, come on and do it. We are very interested. RPAs, task automation, we are even less interested. But here comes the gold. Implement AI agents for brain style topics. Think about it. You are now capturing the knowledge of someone who is leaving, an expert. So he's leaving and he's sharing with you how he solved problems, probably with some machinery. So while he explains it, you can not only write in a Word document what he's doing. There are cases where parts of this knowledge we can structure and write them as prompts that can enable people to use tomorrow morning, maybe not in the same level of expertise that is context specific to the organization, but so much better than keeping it in the database in a Word document. And we will show examples of this. This is story number 2 in our showcase. So I'll jump fast forward and say this is where we start. Number 6 is where we start to redefine ourselves as knowledge managers, saying we're not only capturing the knowledge, we are building it into the AI so it can help people better than only by documenting it tomorrow morning. We are building new capabilities of serving the organization. We, of course, it's not 1, 2, 3, everything one after the other. We just listed, maybe it should be bullets. These will be before, then will come these. And of course, we have to involve also responsible AI. And as I said, it's not our topic today, but I want you to be aware that there are 7 different facets that we refer to when we speak about responsible AI. Please listen. Security, privacy, reliability of the content, copyright, business and professional ethics, sensitivity, both cultural, contextual sensitivity, and fairness, handling the bias and mitigating it. 7 different facets of being AI responsible. So we won't go into them today, but you can take this list and learn about it. And last but not least, we have to turn it to be part of our DNA. So I'll stop here speaking and how we have to act, so we can go to the stories. Vital.
Thank you. So it's funny that I'm talking about this just after Magdalena's question, but I want to say before I jump into AI, GenAI is going to give us lots of tools, okay? It's our responsibility to take it to the next level and lead with this and use it to lead. So if Moria can switch to the next one.
No, not to this one, but to this one.
No, this one, yes.
No, to this one. Here we go.
I wanted to share with you how we deal with this in Siemens Digital Manufacturing. And when we look at it, where is my role as a knowledge manager? So first of all, the first thing that we have here is knowledge gap. It's a huge knowledge gap. The whole, for us, we are from the software industry. We develop software. And for us, it is an earthquake, okay? And our employees are left. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the tools. They don't have the skills. They cannot move forward, okay? It is not aligned with the business needs of the organization. So we see GenAI as the core competencies that we have to have the organization have and use, and we only see advantages in this. And to do so, we are launching a GenAI education journey for our organization, around 2,000 people across the world. And we're looking at a holistic solution because the change is so big, because it requires new skills, new languages, like we spoke. We do not feel that the traditional self-paced courses, workshops, whatever, are sufficient to encompass this organizational change. So we have the basic, right? If you will see the education, we have self-paced courses, we have workshops that we designed, we have certifications that we are putting into place, okay? And these are the basic knowledge blocks that you need to move forward with GenAI solutions. But for it to be effective and for people to learn and internalize the information, we do believe that we need 3 more components that will make it a success. One of them is a sandbox. GenAI is not theoretical. For you to become better and for you to see the value, okay? And also challenge yourself. What is KMers? What are the solutions? Are these the solutions that do I want to replicate the solution or can I create a new solution, right? But for this, you need a place to play. And this is the sandbox. In addition, we are opening a marketplace. What is a marketplace? It's a place where you will see all our Gen AI tools and projects and ideas. Some of them have been already materialized and you can just learn. How does it relate to knowledge management? Think about it. Someone created something. He puts it in a place where you can find it. You can learn, okay? How did they create it? What were their obstacles? How they solved their questions. You can copy it, transfer it to you, okay? You can improve it and create new knowledge and share it back with the people, and you can collaborate together. So we see the marketplace as a pillar in this journey. And of course, the GenAI community. Why do we need a community of practice for this? Because, again, people need to learn something new language. They want to ask questions. We are several people in the organization that might have the knowledge. Okay, we cannot disperse it to everybody, but the community is a place where people can come together, okay, share their knowledge, transfer their knowledge, learn new knowledge, learn new tools. So at the end of the day, everything that relates to upskilling the organization and giving the organization the right tools and ability to move forward, okay? It's not just that we will say we have a GenAI product, we have a GenAI tool. We truly believe that this will enable people to jump forward. And why jump forward? We've created this whole education journey with a few partners in our organization that we do not move forward without them. And one of them is the innovation team. So where is the future? We don't want to invest all our time in what's going on now. We want to see the future, where the future is going, and we want to lead our people towards the future already. We work hand in hand with the strategy team because we see this as a pillar in the success of the organization, okay? Good knowledge management and tools and education will help to increase productivity, increase innovation, and alignment with the business needs of the organization. And this comes to other people that might ask why the organization will invest so much in this area. At the end of the day, it aligns with the business needs of the organization. We have done already a few pilots. We did a 1-week education journey in Pune, in India, where every day they had a different session, one basic concept, one success stories, productivity, workshops, okay? And we were able in 1 week to upskill like 400 people like this. So we can say already that the education journey allows us to upskill large audiences very easily and quickly. It allows us to connect our activity to the business needs of the organization, okay? And this is where I relate to what Moria also said. We are becoming the drivers, okay? We are becoming the innovators. We push forward, we're strategic. We are not just collecting information and organizing it, yes? And it helps us to drive innovation forward for our area of expertise, but for the whole organization as well. So we are super excited about this. We are launching it right now. There are, of course, different phases, and there are no one suit fits all. So we will have customized tracks going forward. Because when we started building this, we also understood that, you know, some people are UX, they have different needs. Some people focus on product, they have different needs. Goes back to me, I don't have the answers to everything. We work in collaboration with the whole organization to bring the best solutions. So this is us. One is making a lot of noise. You are on mute, Moria, but I'm sure you're saying it's amazing. How can I participate?
It's amazing. How can I participate? I just wanted to add, thank you. Remember that also the literacy is like, and the education journey is like a driving license. Once you get the driving license certification, it doesn't say that you really know how to do it. It says that you're allowed to be on the roads. So we are there to help them also in the continuing. And here, and yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. So I want to share with you another story, what we call KMAI. And I want to demonstrate it on one level and to let you imagine it also on another level. Why? Because if I'm going back to the beginning, I shared that we see our role twofold as KMers. Once for the organization, helping them do their work better, as Meital now demonstrated in a very deep, wide way. And second time, for us as KMers, how we do our job better. So now I'm changing my role maybe, and I'm now speaking to you as a manager of a KM company. We have over 20 consultants and nearly 10 business partners worldwide who do KM in different organizations that help organizations do their KM. And we thought that also KMers deserve a solution that's based on AI, and that we call it KMAI Plus. So I want to show you the ideas behind it by demonstrating this. Oh, so if we're already in our website, I won't go back to this later on. This is the website. I believe that you can find it, kmom.com. And under the services, you'll find the list of the KMAI agents. So you'll find we have now 10 AI agents that are for knowledge work and specifically for KMers. So I'll explain. First of all, this is all-in-one AI suite for whom? Not for marketers, not for chemical, for people in laboratories, not for bankers. It's for you, KMers. It's for us. Can you, me, everyone provide a similar suite, a package like this to different roles? Of course we can. That's role number 2 for the organization. I'm demonstrating it now on things that help us as KMers. Part of them can help additional people, of course, but similar ideas can be generated in order to help other roles in the organization. And here is where I see not the only, but the big first, not evolution, but rather revolution in how KMers work in organizations and what they do and how they do. So how they do is doing their job better using such tools. What they do is they even provide such tools to their users. So first of all, I'll show you, and you can ask questions while we're speaking. We have something like less than 20 minutes because Meital stopped me sometime because we want also for questions, but also we want also to take questions if there are, but mainly to end on time because people have additional plans today. So why do we call it plus, KMAI plus? AI is easy because we speak about AI agents. We already spoke about what agents are, a list of prompts, but we speak about plus. And plus is because we really, really believe that it is synergy of human and machine. So here we also share our human part. We share our human best practices, and we have here nearly 250 of them, and they are growing every month. So what's a best practice? You already know. It's like a lesson. It has a topic and a subtopic, and it has something that very short, a bottom line, what to do, when and why, and it can be related to many subdisciplines of knowledge retention, of lessons learned, of KM program, running the change management or the strategy, service centers, etc. Of course, one can look, that's my beloved one. I always love looking for this because I was so surprised when I saw it. If I write Excel, for example, it will help me and give me a best practice how to use spreadsheets, or not matter if Google Sheets or Excel, to find within it tacit knowledge for an expert. So this is only an example. Of course, you can look by different subdisciplines and share and read the specific sub best practices. Thank you. Now let's go back to the AI agents, because today we are speaking not about our best practices, just remembering that we have to have them in mind, because AI does not replace us, it complements us. That's why they are in together within the AI application. They started as a standalone application, but we put them in here so that everyone that does AI as a KMer will use them. So let's speak about several examples. And because I knew that I won't have time, I extracted and I prepared some of these before, and I'll only show online only maybe one. Let's look about the KM program. KM program, we have here three of them. For example, strategic decision making. I say the tools we need it for our KM program, but it's also something that anyone can use if it needs it, if it's standing now in front of a strategic decision. If it's an easy decision, you don't need AI, you don't need KM. You can take an hour and decide whatever you want. I'll show you an example of using it. And when we speak about these, why do we speak about series of prompts? Because we speak about things where the machine leads the conversation. The machine leads the conversation. Two, it is multi-layered. It's not only one prompt. It doesn't only ask me, what do you want to do? Okay, here I did it. But it discusses with you in order to leverage the synergy. And three, it is always based on best practices that are relevant. In this case, it's KMAI, so they're relevant to KM. So it's our ROM's nearly 500 years of accumulated experience of best practices. If tomorrow you'll do it in an organization of banking, it will be the accumulated experience of your bankers, where you will capture their knowledge, you will write it as business rules, as prompts, and you will package it in a way that can be reused. So let's show an example here for decision making. And I chose one that I really love from, I'll turn this bigger, business strategy design for a startup company. Okay, you see, I'm speaking with a GPD builder. Ours is based on GPT, and we need to decide on a business strategy for a startup company. So GPT asks me, okay, to decide, let's first understand the decision process. Could you provide me details on your startup? You see, it's leading the conversation. It's asking a question and I'm answering it. And then it's asking me, okay, before we continue and do it thoroughly, do you want a quick and dirty analysis? I say, yes, I don't have time to reinvent the wheel by myself. And it comes up with some ideas of small POC or outside investment and how to look at it and say, I agree, but we have and I'm adding context. And once I add context, it starts working with me and it starts asking me questions as to the considerations and to addition and to optional options. And I say, oh, are there other relevant options to my context? It says, yes, there are 4 more. Say, no, I like only one of these. Please add it to the list. And I continue speaking with it, and it asks me as to criteria list, and it asks me later on as to evaluating the options. It would take a full hour to replicate this session. That's why I'm showing it already prepared, because I also have to think when I write, and I so have to wait. And it goes on, and it comes with a criteria list. And I ask him, because I'm lazy, help me also with the criteria list, and also help me with the scores. and I look at the scores and I say, you know what? This is not good, and it suggests weights, and it suggests weights. Here are the weights. And I say, no, no, no. We have resources that are limited. Please adjust. So it changes the weights, and it goes on, and then comes on and with a calculation that reflects the weights that I wanted, and comes on with recommendations to that are same level, that tie up. So, and it comes up and comes with the end bottom line recommendation and ends the conversation. So that was one example showing the strategic decision making. There
But
are
I
examples.
think, Moria, what is amazing is that once you have the concept, right, and the understanding, it's so easy to customize it to your needs, to your organization values, to your constraints and opportunities. And it gives us like a super powerful tool in our hand that 2 years ago, 5 years ago, we would not have imagined that we will have this ability to infer, understand, and use knowledge in this way.
I couldn't agree more. It's a new level of using knowledge in our brain work. And that's, I believe, part or a essential new part in the AI, in the KM's work. Now, I want to go and I'll show you some more examples. I'm now in our sandbox area. We also have our sandbox. For example, I can show you, I prepared here before we started, before we spoke today. Let's go to here. I took another one that goes to missing, no, you know what, we'll go before to this one. No, sorry. Not a new one, but I want to go to those who we already, here, restructure. Hi, hello. Please structure the following document. Okay, I'm here to improve document structure so it's more accessible and usable for those who work with it. Who works with procedures, SOPs, rewriting documents, putting them in a service center in a structured way, etc., etc., etc. This one is for SOPs, but not only. Please upload or paste the document you want me to reorganize. Because many times we get content that is not easy to consume. It's maybe 100% correct, but it's not easy to consume and you want to rethink it. So I came here with an example, which I can show you, of information cybersecurity SOP, procedure of work. And it says, and I uploaded it and say, okay, it's early today. You can see, no, you don't see the date. So it comes up and says, okay, it had in the original document, it had many topics, and it was there were many topics and subtopics, and even though we worked on it and it wasn't in its first stage, I felt 2 years ago when we finished working on it, that I didn't really tackle it. I didn't really find the perfect way to restructure it. So once we had this AI agent, and it had inside all our best practices how to restructure, we asked it to restructure. And it came on and said, yes, okay, take all of these, put them together in an overview. And then, yes, you need key definitions. But now, start building it in a different way. This will be the first process. This will be the second one. These will be scenarios. I didn't think about it. And I believe that I have over a quarter of a century of experience. So it's not only more efficient than I am, and I put in all the rules. It's implying the rules better than I am. Read my lips. It's doing a better job than me with my best practices. And it goes on to end. Now, this is only one example. It asks me more questions. I stopped here and I asked it, what's missing? I went to another one. Okay, let's go to the, not to the empty one, but the one that is already with information. What's missing? Where was it? I'm sorry. I asked it what's missing. Yeah. I have to find everything. I prepared everything and all shut down, so I prepared it again. Oh, here I asked what's missing on another one. I had here oxygen guidelines. And I said, okay, what's missing in my document? So the GenAI answers me, that's the KMAI Plus suite. Before identifying what's missing, I need a bit of context to guide the analysis. That's what we always say. That knowledge management and experts, it's all about context. So what context it's asking for? What type of a document it is? Oh, it's a procedure. Who is intended to use it? Nurses. And it gives me examples to make my life easier. Got it. What's the goal? Ensure patient safety. Okay, that's clear. Now tell me, do you want to compare it with a source document? Too many times I have two documents, one that I got from a customer and one that we restructured, and I want to compare them. I have a bank user that they are a regulator, and they want to compare their regulation with what the banks actually do. And there are so many cases to compare two specific documents. Or I can compare with best practices from similar organizations. So I tell them, okay, let's start with A, compared to a source document, and here I add it. Okay, thank you. Here are 2, 3, 4 points, 5 points that you miss, and why it thinks it matters. Now remember, it's my best practices explaining to me what I missed. Think about the absurd idea, but yet new KM. Okay, I'm continuing. Let's go to B. I see that the time is flying by. Based on your goal, help me what compared to other organizations. And now it suggests what's missing, and it's not suggesting worldwide. It's contextualizing it to the specific audience, to the specific type of document, to the specific goal that we defined in the beginning, and I can go on. And it does the same. So it does the same for not only, this one, wow, last.
Moria is super excited. So I will give you another minute, but I do want to open the floor for at least 1-2 questions before we.
So I'll just tell you that we have enabled to have a tacit knowledge capturing session, to have a lessons learned session, to refine lessons that are okay but not good, etc., to run a change management program. All the jobs that KMers do in their daily work. And that is only a demonstration of what we did for you and what you can do in different topics for your users. So I'll stop sharing for a minute and I'll pass back to you, because you want to probably to open to questions before. Oh, we didn't speak about what next. Do you want us to speak about what next before we go to you?
I think maybe 2 questions, and then we wrap up with what's next, how we're moving forward, and closing statements. So, because I'm here, I saved some time for you. Don't tell anyone. The 2 lucky ones that will raise their hands first. Let's hear from you. Well, everything that you wanted to ask and you didn't have the chance. Don't get too excited, people, please. Because Moria and I can go on the advantages and what we can do. And mostly I want to tell you, open your mind. Don't do whatever we did before. Yes, Magdalena.
Thank you so much. So my question would be, is there a possibility for me to add some documents and then run the research or analysis based on that document?
Yes.
Okay, that was an easy one.
That's great.
That's the idea that every time your users in your organization, or you do it for your users, or you give them access to such a thing, and they add in their documents, and every time it analyzes a new document based on your best practices, or in this case, ROM's best practices as AI, as KM experts, how to check and how to analyze.
And can I create the library of such documents? Because it's not indefinite, right?
It is indefinite because it's like a conversational Gen AI. You every time come up with a new one and say, how can you help me here? It's no library. Every time you upload one thing and you ask a question or you copy paste.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Magdalena. Any question from the crowd? Speak now or forever hold your breath. People, I know it's
You're
a Thursday.
Now.
Yes, I have many personalities. This is why I have good conversation with myself. But I've already talked to myself today, so it's your opportunity now. But if not, it's your loss. But we saw the examples, we talked a little bit about what we can do and how is our role, maybe redefining it or rethinking how we focus. A lot to process, I agree, definitely. Tomorrow morning, Moria,
So
what do we do?
We spoke about scoping, finding the right scope. We spoke about taking actions, but what are the actions that we can do first or tomorrow morning? And the short line is look where you are and take one step forward. But let's give examples. I think that we first have to start with ourselves as human beings before we speak about our role as KMers. We have to learn and see that we have AI literacy, that we have learning literacy, because this is a endless changing field and we have to learn all the time. It's not a one-time show of AI literacy or literacy at all. And we have to prepare our critical thinking understanding to advance our critical thinking capabilities. So that would be level one, preparing ourselves. Level number two will be preparing the KM. Before we go to others, I suggest you try on yourselves, that on your KM's teams. That means work with conversational Gen AI, prepare new KM routines, and adjust new KM solutions. Of course, it can be KM AI Plus, it could be Grammarly, it can be Copilot. Take the right combination that helps you. And the third level would be on the organization level. Educate, we spoke about it, see that you have education, that you have AI embedded in roles, and that you have your type of reasoning and decision support. Once you have these, and maybe in some organizations also before, you have to have a strategy and responsible AI policy. This is the infrastructure. I would suggest that if you speak about strategy, go for a mini strategy. Even if you call it strategy, don't do it too far. You may have concepts, but also the concept level, the approach will change. So define your approach, define your work plan, the ways you work, but don't be too fixed, because the technology is surprising us every day again. And in this flexibility, in this stability, we need flexibility. What would you suggest, Meital?
I have absolutely nothing more to suggest. You covered it all. But I do believe, it is a challenging time. Yes. And it does require us, okay, to adjust to change, to open our mind. But I think also it's very exciting times for us. The possibilities are endless. Knowledge is king, okay? So I do think that we have a lot of opportunities and it's up to us to take charge on this. I see a hand. Yes, Larissa.
Larissa, hi there.
Larissa,
yes,
sorry.
Larissa in Portuguese. I just wanted to thank you guys for sharing the knowledge. I was the one that wrote that was a lot to process on a second language. But I think that the main tip that you guys had, and it just consolidated what I feel in my life, is that the first thing that we need to do is to be comfortable with the use of AI in practically everything. So I was listening to you guys and I was thinking about how I use it to buy my kids shampoo, because I want the ones that don't have hormones that will be bad for their health. I use it to consult occupational safety, legal matters. So I use it for everything, and that how I feel comfortable with it helped me bring the reality of AI into my work. So I first got comfortable in a personal level, and then I took it to my job, and it's been crazy. And listening to you guys, I love your Siemens example. I work for a company that's in Brazil. It's a continental country, and we have people spread everywhere. So it's a big challenge to get everybody on track on how AI is important, and it's here to stay.
Yes.
And if we don't catch the train, we're going to get left behind. So I think it's the movement is really nice in my company, but since it's such a big company, it's very challenging. So thank you guys for sharing it. It has been wonderful.
Feel free to
And
reach if you need a little bit more examples and stuff later on.
okay. So just think
Thank you.
about it. Thank you so much, Larissa, for adding this is being comfortable and exercising on ourselves, our sandbox. Thank you. I want to add an ending statement saying, calling you to action. If you lead KM in your organizations, let's talk, because together we'll take the next bold step toward AI-powered human central knowledge work. Let's make the KM future actionable, not a future, but a today KM, where we have a different conversation, a different service, where really knowledge is used, and we are, may Tal said the king, may I say also the queen. So please address us. We also are holding a KM course for an AI course for KMers, an advanced one. We're not providing the first AI literacy. We are assuming that you already have it. If you already have AI literacy and you want to go to the next step, consider also speaking with us to see our courses and to see our KM AI Plus, and just to talk and share with us what you are doing, and we can learn as much as we can share. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in today. Thank you,
Thank
Meital,
you.
for, did I share my screen as well at the end? I don't know. Thank you so much, Meital, for facilitating this session.
My
Yes,
pleasure.
we shared our screen.
We shared.
And thank you, everyone, for being a great
Hi,
KM
Moira.
community. There's no KM community like KM.
I have a
Thank
question if
you.
I can ask at that moment, if that's possible.
Yes, go
Please
for
go
it.
ahead.
Oh, thank you so much. So, uh, I have seen how you have used an agent to solve the decision-making process. These days, I have seen a lot of organizations are opting AI agents over semantic search for knowledge discovery. Mm, How, what do you think about it? Like, can AI agent solve for all knowledge discoveries, or semantic search or the vector database still holds its importance in organizations?
Wow, that's a deep question. Uh, I'll say just a few things. One, we don't really know all answers. Saying all is too much, always. However, when organizations speak about knowledge discovery, they speak about the RAGs mainly. I tried today to add a new level to the discussion, explaining also where the agents help the brain work, not the thinking, the knowledge thinking, not only the information discovery. And yes, it can help knowledge discovery. B, it won't do it alone. Yes, cognitive search and semantic search will also play a role, but we don't really care what types of AI play a role there, as long as they help us. Mital, do you want to add anything?
No, I have
Uh,
nothing to add to this. I completely agree that, there is a lot to discover yet. Okay. But it's up to us to open our mind and experiment a little bit. I come from an agile organization, so brace on agility.
yeah.
And I said something to Moya, and I will say it here. I do believe, okay, that GenAI is the revolution the knowledge management world has been waiting for. It will allow us to go forward and become effective and impactful in strategy and driven processes and allow our users easy access to information and knowledge and usage of it. And with this, we will rule the world, Moria, king and queens.
Of course. And let me add, let tomorrow begin today.
Indeed.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
joining us.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye bye.